Hey everyone, how you doing today? Welcome to another devlog for Swipey Rogue. It's a beautiful day out. I got the windows open. Birds are down from up north. I'm just playing some levels, testing them out, trying to get all the enemies on this level here. I'll show you a quick preview before I move into development news. A lot of stuff has changed over the past week. I've set up the whole system so that the game can support having multiple areas. All the 200 levels are divided into 4 different areas, all themed to different, roughly themed to an element or a gameplay style or particular sort of thing that will define that area. This is the lava area. This will be open by default at the beginning of the game. All right, woo, cleared it, cool. All right, so I'll move on here. Let's see what I got. Did I beat my high score? I did. I believe, yes, I got a new achievement also. Cool. Alright, so let's hop out of here. I just wanted to show you that quickly. So first things first, let's start with the level editor. So lots of stuff has changed, like I said. Now the game is divided into 4 areas, so everything across the game had to support separating those 200 levels and dealing with them as 4 groups of 50 levels. So the level editor now has a new section down here where you can select, where I can select which world I'm editing. So currently I'm editing, world 0. So if I'm in load mode, down here is the modes. It's load save, this is detail, and this is edit when I actually can edit. So during load mode, I can switch here between the 4 different worlds. So the first one is the lava world, the second one is the ice world, then the metal world, then the magical world. What you can see over here in the game editor view is that all I'm really doing is moving. I have these prefabs, which is a bunch of sprites lined up to represent loosely the way the level flows. And then as I switch between each area, it's literally just moving them back and forth so they jump in and out like this, and you can see them in the little room browser window here. So within the room browser window here, then I can select any of these rooms and attach to them. Actually, the way this works is I have this structure, and it's a prefab with all of these sprites, which is these areas laid out like as I want them, and each of these has an associated text file, which is the XML file where all the data is stored. So it's just a simple system where I can store data, interface with it simply through just on-click events on a sprite, storing a text file link, and then actually in the game I load those same structures and just sort of use that and iterate through them and all their children and load the appropriate level. But yeah, so what's cool here is now I can select between different worlds. So now it's like organized. Each of these sort of 50 areas is split up like that. So in the editor now, again in load mode, I can flip through and pick them when I want to load, and then I edit it or save if I make any changes. Another thing that's changed, which is represented on the editor now also, is that when I'm loading between the different worlds, I've organized the buttons. So these buttons are essentially tiles that are used within any room that are used everywhere. So it doesn't matter what area I'm in, I'm going to need these kinds of walls, I'm going to need an entrance and exit, I'm going to need some health, I'm going to need, the enemy types. But this specifically exists in the lava world, so these are tiles specific for the lava world. So when I switch over to the ice world, the new stuff that's specific to that will pop up here and corresponding the other worlds. So that was a big change that had to happen here, the organization on the editor end, and then the way the data is stored for loading and saving in the editor. And then of course, that was just the editor side. So on the gameplay side, if I go back to the game level, now the big change really is, I'll turn it down a little bit. The big change is there's a new map, there's a new screen essentially. So all this is talking about adventure mode. Gauntlet mode I'll get into later. That's more what you'd expect when you hear Swipey Rogue. But the adventure mode is more the bigger game concept. So when we come into adventure mode now, instead of going directly to the scrolling menu, we're at a world menu. This is all totally placeholder art that's going to get replaced. It may be a visual menu, it may be a list or something like this. We'll see how it goes. So it's broken up into the different areas. When you start the game, the lava world is unlocked. Ice land or world, whatever, metal world and the magic world are locked. Each area has 50 levels, and each level has 3 challenges. So there's a total of 150 challenges that can be accomplished in each area. The player's going to be rewarded. These are stars for now, they're just placeholder. The theme, again, is this is underground magical mines that we're exploring. So we're going to be collecting gems. So for completing each of the missions or the objectives in each level, you'll collect a gem. And so we store here your total number of gems that you've got collected. And you'll use those to unlock an area. So you can see right now, Magic Land is locked. unlocked, and if I had 100, I could unlock it. I've already unlocked, so I can show you the Iceland and Meadowland. So this is the over menu that will be the hub for the different areas in the world. Now let's see. In addition, there's two things that are exposed here that I want to talk about. This is going to be the main scoring mechanic for leaderboards. This is going to be your total score. So for each land or area, I'll track the sum of all your total high scores, and that's going to be a leaderboard. And then there'll also be a total one for the entire game. So each area will have its own, and then one for the whole game. And then in addition to that, this is your total time under the 3rd star, or the 3rd challenge. So every room has 3 challenges, and that 3rd challenge is always the time challenge. So beat the time, the fast score. So what I've done is I'm going to be accumulating your total time under that high score, that high speed, and that's going to be a new leaderboard. So basically, the people who can not only beat the speed run for every level, but beat it really well, will be higher on the leaderboard. And then I'll track that per area, and then there'll be one for the entire game itself also. So that's kind of exciting. I'm really happy about that. That's all in. It's all functioning. It's all saved. Just have to set up the actual leaderboards now. The collection of all your gems, which are just stars now, is all working. The progression across all the challenges in every room is working also. So you'll come into an area and then you'll see the scrolling menu. There'll be one for each area, but it'll be themed to the appropriate colors. So the Lava Land, this, when it's replaced with the final art, is going to have a certain color theme. The Ice one as well, and the Metal, the Magic, blah blah. So when we go in, a new thing also that's been set up is each area now has a tile sheet with a collection of floor tiles and different patterns. So to get a lot more variety within each area now, I can vary what pattern is displayed on the floor tile, and then in addition I'm also tinting that floor tile. So there's going to be a lot more variety compared to how it had been before when you're looking at different levels and you're playing different levels. So the basic coloring, the overall theme and the color, that's another thing actually that's changed. I'll come up here and just wait for a minute. This is a tough level. So yeah, the coloring and the lighting, if you see the highlight color as the player's moving through the level, that's been set up appropriately for each area. So it's a warmer tone, obviously, in the lava area, and then if we come back out, let's hop into the Iceland really quickly. I'll come into this level hasn't been completed yet. You can see it's more blue tones, and then the highlight color, if the color is light, is also blue tones. So there's another set of floor tiles that are unique to this world, and then in addition to that, there's a whole set of color variances that every room goes through over time. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the way the whole thing's been set up. I think there's going to be a lot more variety when you're looking at it. Let's hop out and get a quick peek at the Meadowland 2. I'll go to one of these future levels that doesn't have anything in it. So it's just a quick preview. Same thing. This is all very slate grays, and white highlight for the light, and very simple. But again, it has its own pool of textures that it's pulling from, so each one is also slightly different. So really, that's it. That's what's been going on. Wow, this was a long update, almost 9 minutes. Big additions to the level editor, and then also to the rest of the game to support splitting all the levels into multiple worlds, varying the visual themes within the worlds, the tile sets, the color themes, in addition to all the things that are going to go into the menus later on, but we'll get into that later. So it's coming along. I'm really excited. A lot of the heavy lifting has happened, so I can get back to level construction and actual level designing. So the system's in place. I'm all set up from the level editor end and from the in-game end to start rolling out with the rest of the levels in the rest of the world. So thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon. Feel free to comment, rate, and ask questions. See you. Bye.